I have a bit of a two-part question for you in terms of the entrepreneur, the crazy entrepreneur, and mental health and balance. So in this book, we talk about performance, and part of performance, we talk about balance and harmony. Private equity firms don't typically have the best reputation in terms of, culture and burning your people out, etc. What's different about TriWest in that respect? And then in terms of entrepreneurs, we've worked with entrepreneurs, both Keith and I, for quite a few years, almost decades. I grew up with one.
Yep.
Mental health is usually right at the top there. What do you see, and how do you maintain or help them maintain balance?
Yeah, I think private equity gets a bit of a bad rap for that. And private equity is a big industry now. It's, 20 years ago, there were only a few private equity firms in the country. It wasn't something that if you told somebody you worked in private equity, you kind of got a blank stare. They didn't know what that was. So it's not like that today. And TriWest has been around for 20 years. And in terms of mental health, it's top of mind. It's a great question. I think we all have to sort of listen to that inner voice. I think probably the best way I can say, the way I personally deal with that is like you have to have other interests. You can't just consume yourself 24/7 in your job. You need some breaks. You need to carve out some personal time, whether that's to, get your exercise, play sports, whatever your thing is. I think that's really important. I know Terry does that. He makes a point of doing that daily, I think, in your life, and I try to do the same. It recharges your batteries. It's really critical. So. Because it's easy to get on a treadmill and just keep going and going and going, and you'll hit a wall eventually.
Right. Yeah. How about you, Terry? What's sort of the advice you'd give in terms of maintaining your mental health as an entrepreneur, as a go entrepreneur, as we've heard?
Yeah. I would agree again with Jeff that, for me it's about having some type of physical activity in my life that's outside of work. I've grown to be an expert delegator, so I'm getting better at that. That's key to mental health, and having trust in your people, because sometimes when you just turn something over to somebody, you're not really turning it over, it's still in your head. I know what I'm getting out of our people, so some of my advice would be, because I went through, what I'm certain was depression when my hockey career ended, and I'm, going into God knows what. I didn't know what at the time. Jeff alluded to it, with the triggers. Like, you got to listen to yourself and say, okay, how am I going to manage this one? And for me, it comes in a multitude of ways. One is working out. One is conversing with people, of like-minded people. Something that I've seen at TriWest, and I know that we do it at ProStar too, is those making people reach for uncomfortability. I think that is a key to mental health awareness, because knowing where you're at, feeling you have a purpose, all of that really gives you, a strong foundation of mental health. My darkest hours were when I didn't know. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what I did. I don't know, I don't think I deserve this. And it just manifests, it goes in such a negative direction. And one thing I've noticed, a common attribute amongst high performers is they're positive people. I've never gotten anything out of being negative, but the negative roller coaster can really get out of control. So you need to be mindful. You got to find that trigger when you get like that, and find inspiration. And sometimes I get the inspiration when somebody tells me, you got to pump the brakes. Well, maybe.
Just for a little bit.
Just for a little bit. And I'm sure that maybe I provide some inspiration when I'm saying, hey, look at what I got over here, right? I think as an entrepreneur, as a leader in ProStar, and even as our relationship, I think I owe it to Jeff to push him. Even though he's a leader and a mentor to me, so I should push him. Because if I do, well, what I'm telling him is one, I know him, so I know his potential. Two, he knows I care because I've invested to do that. And then three, and the you know, the great thing about it is you get like, we've gotten a lot of history in a very short time, and that's because we felt that we could do that. Maybe that, I hope that answers my question, the question about what I believe about health and wellness, but it should also answer the question about what I believe where health and wellness is going. We need to do a better job of the praise part and how that, you know, gets cascaded throughout.